Are you, like many others, sitting on a treasure trove of toys from a life long forgotten? Can your childhood be best summed up as Pokemon mad? Cards, plushies, balls, dexes, video games, games consoles, you name it, the Pokemon company crafted it to weasel money out of unsuspecting parents worldwide, envious for the days when the fad of Pokemon would waver. And yet, here we are, 24 years after the initial Japanese releases of Pokemon Red and Green, and Pokemon as a franchise is considered one of the most successful of all time. I'm Pokemon438, and in this video I'm going to cover some of the most insane Pokemon products I found while scrolling through eBay. I didn't really want this to become all about trading cards, but sometimes it's hard to avoid the inevitable, and eBay is awash with inevitability, so let me apologise before we begin. A few of these are trading card game related. In at number 10 we have a still sealed, brand new Pikachu edition of the Game Boy Color, which was released to coincide with the 3rd Generation 1 game, Pokemon Yellow. The unique colouring of this much loved handheld, the Pichu and Pikachu jumping for joy on the rim. Everything about it was designed to make sure children had to have the exact console to start their 3rd venture into the Kanto region. This time with a grainy voiced Pikachu at their side. Of course, since the Game Boy Color, Nintendo launched Poké versions of almost every subsequent console release. We had the garish Nintendo 64, the classy green Game Boy Advance SP, numerous DS and 3DS iterations, and most recently we have the Pikachu and DV Switch, and the Generation 8 Switch Lite. This, by the way, is the Game Boy Color that I found while looking. A quick trip to Cerebi reveals the extent of this, with more than 3 Game Boy Colors and a Game Boy Light. So if you have a spare £1,250, this mint condition piece of memorabilia is yours. Number 9 brings us something of an enigma in the Pokemon universe. Yes, these are technically event Pokemon, but an argument can be made that cartridges like this one, £1,500 if you're wondering, but free postage and packaging, so that's nice, contained DLC Pokemon. These cartridges were handed out to retailers worldwide and contained event-exclusive Pokemon to be loaded into special DS consoles and distributed to avid trainers at specified times and dates. So, for example, you would leave your home, trot down to Toys R Us, potentially interact with other human beings and download a brand spanking new Pokemon for your game. Now, when the time and date had passed on these Pokemon, they'd be locked so you couldn't actually use them after that. But we all know the DS has an internal clock and calendar, and damn if we're not smarter than technology, so here we are. Owning these, FYI, technically isn't above board, as they were supposed to be returned to the Pokemon Company after they'd been used and destroyed, but if you find one just hanging about, go crazy. Okay, number 8's a shirt. It's a shirt worth £1,531.33, with a hefty shipping price attached. Remember Pokemon Go? That thing people who claim to love Generation 1 played for like 2 weeks and then remembered while everyone else was playing Pokemon that they were playing things like Sport? Yeah, well, it's A, still a thing, I'd play it, shut up, and B, had its very own Fest. It wasn't a good event. Visitors commented on the lacklustre event in their thousands. Long story short, the event attracted around 20,000 Pokemon Go users from all over the world to Grant Park in Chicago, only for mobile networks in the area to be overwhelmed by the demand, rendering the game unplayable for many. In an attempt to quell the outcry, Niantic Lab CEO John Hank took to stage only to be booed by players. The event was then extended by an extra 2-mile radius. Niantic refunded tickets, gave out $100 of in-game currency to each visitor, and handed out the event-exclusive Lugia as an apology. But anyway, here's a shirt from one of these events. Don't wash it in the wrong load. Number 7 is 2 entries, and honestly I find these quite cool, but I'm one of the millions of unlucky content creators who hasn't had a smash hit video yet, so I won't be buying these. These are Pokemon Gold coins and Pokemon Battle coins, things I honestly didn't know existed until I was researching this video, and Google refuses to tell me how authentic these are, but there we go. Thanks Google. But as a fun fact about Nue, they actually had Pokemon printed on their official legal currency. The more you know. As for Battle Coins, this was an alternative trading and battling game released by Hasbro in the late 90s. It only ran during Generation 1 of the Pokemon anime when Pokemon Fever was at its ultimate peak, so as you can imagine, the success rate of the Battle Coins wasn't great, but success is beside the point. These things look really cool, and the way they're displayed is absolutely fantastic. You can own the battle coins for £2,000 or the possibly real gold coins for £2,643.65, and at least for postage and packaging is somewhat justified on this entry. Number 6 is a cacophony of entries topped by this Popplio plushie costing a whopping £4,790, and I'm honestly not entirely sure of the reason. I tried to Google it and I just found people complaining about spending $15 on an 8-inch Eevee on Reddit. But the thing here is I found loads of these on eBay for extortionate amounts. I have no idea what makes this super expensive one special. Popplio's coloured in taupe. Is that what it is? I honestly have no idea. The idea of spending the same as some people would spend on an engagement ring on a plushie makes my mind melt. Honestly, it does. I mean, I have 3 dogs in the house and a small child. I'd effectively be spending nearly £5,000 on a cuddly toy massacre to make the generation game squirm. Maybe it tells the future, or it gets a job and brags at reunions about how well it's all going these days. Halfway through now, and this number 5 entry is £15,000. I thought I'd leap into that one and save you the trouble of wishing to one day own this. This is a red strip sealed Pokemon Crystal game, and I'll give a bit of context there. Pokemon is ostensibly a kids game. Yes, Gen 1 and Gen 2 have gambling mechanics in them, but they didn't f*** up my generation too badly. Shut up. But they are colourful, happy games about entrapping animals and forcing them to commit grievous bodily harm against one another. Happy, fun time game. So, now imagine this. Pokemon Crystal being gifted to a child in the year 2000. The game actually came out December 14th, 2000, so it was likely a Christmas gift from Grandma, and that child not only never played it, but never opened it and kept it pristine. And that's £15,000 worth of endeavour right there. Obviously this isn't a rare game. In Japan alone the game sold 1,847,307 units, making it the second best selling Game Boy Color game in Japan. The first? That'd be Pokemon Gold and Silver. Seriously, Gen 2 is the best Pokemon generation, don't at me. Brace yourselves, the prices here got absolutely mental. At number 4 I found this delightful statue of a Squirtle. It's a 3rd place trophy from a 1998 Camex Mega Battle. No, I don't fully know either, as Google has again let me down and keeps directing me to a card that was given out for the eventual winner of a trading card game tournament. So I'm just going to assume it was a trading card game tournament of some description. So, the veiled in mystery history aside, how cool is this? Costing an incredible £26,798.36, this collectible is as collectible as they come. There exists only 2 of these in the world. Not only is it rare, but it's delightful to look at to boot. Side note, my first ever starter Pokemon back in 1998 was a Squirtle, and that eventual Blastoise is, to this day, my favourite Pokemon I trained myself. It wouldn't win much in competitive because it was a stab machine, but still, you never forget your first. Another £50,000 price leap here at number 3 with this £76,567.51 battle playset. If you haven't seen why this costs so much straight away, allow me to explain. As humans, we appear to value erroneous items above all else, and the error here is a somewhat glaring one. See that Pokemon on the left isn't as advertised a Charmeleon, it's a Koffing. Not that there's anything wrong with being a Koffing, but when you expect to get the 2nd stage fire starter and you end up with a Pokemon synonymous for exploding after catching a Thunderbolt to the face, you're gonna have a bad time. Obviously this isn't the only error from the early days of the Pokemon craze involving Koffing, as its sprite was actually upside down in the original Generation 1 games. A simple printing and packaging error that was probably abruptly fixed has led to this being a valuable collector's item. The playsets had multiple iterations with plush toy Pokemon piles being jammed rather forcefully into plastic packaging, featuring Squirtle, Spearow, Pikachu, Sandshrew, Ekans, Slowpoke and many, many more. Right, bear with me here. These next 2 are astronomical in comparison to what's come before. In at number 2 we have a complete 1st edition Shadowless base set of cards. All of these cards are graded officially, and they're all from the fabled 1st edition, and they're all holographic, meaning keeping them in pristine condition to be classed as near mint or better must have been an arduous task to say the very least. So, what cards does your £459,400.84 get you? It gets you Alakazam, Blastoise, Chansey, Charizard, Clefable, Gyarados, Hitmonchan, Machamp, Magneton, Mewtwo, Nidoking, Ninetales, Poliwrath, Raichu, Venusaur and Zapdos. These are undoubtedly cards that we all had as kids, or at least had friends who would never entertain trading them to us. But what's special here is that these cards are literally from the first batch of cards printed, and I don't mean that only one of each exists, that would be insanity, but these were from the first cards ever packaged up and sold to consumers in the world. Just think about how mad that is. The first edition of anything will go for an ungodly amount of money, and these cards are no exception. And finally, at number 1, a card that I'm sure most Pokemon fans are aware of, but oh my word, it costs £689,100.72. Yes, American viewers, that's $900,000, along with postage and packaging of £1,148.50. Utter insanity. Obviously, this isn't a video about the most expensive Pokemon cards overall, but what was on eBay when I looked. However, given the rarity of these cards, for one to be on sale is astonishing. These cards were given out as prizes initially to the runners-up of the qualifying rounds of the Japanese official trading card game tournament between June 14th and June 15th in 1997, and then at the Lizardon Mega Battle Conference between February and November in 1998. Lastly, it was awarded as runners-up prizes at each of the regional Carmex Mega Battles, confirming that that was a trading card game tournament. This video has come full circle. Subsequent card prints of the trainer item cards have been created for events ever since, but this card is from the very first run of the tournaments, thus the price. So if you value a card over a house, by all means, break the bank. And that's the list. As I said, it's not an exhaustive list of all the most expensive items in the Pokemon universe, but more a collection of the insane items that I found while traversing through eBay. By all means, add more in the comments down below. Thank you so much for sticking it out until the end of the video, or even just skipping to the end to see what the number 1 pick was. I honestly appreciate all of the support. Of course, I wouldn't be making content without plugging myself, so please accept my apologies in advance. The obvious plug here is here on YouTube, where you can subscribe to me for all the videos like this. I also play video games and upload them here, so be sure to check those out. But I apply the majority of my content creation over on Twitch. Click my face to go there and follow me over on Twitch. We most recently finished a playthrough of the wonderful Doki Doki Literature Club, and we're now embarking on a Pokemon challenge I am titling the 6 Love Discs Challenge, and I won't explain why. Honestly though, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity today. Without people watching our content, we are nothing. You guys are genuinely the real stars, and I hope to see you all in future videos and over on my Twitch channel. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Okay, so while I was editing a video, it turns out that Pokemon card might actually be the single most expensive one ever on eBay. Go figure. I thought I'd put that in there before the comments absolutely roast me. Ignore my hair, ignore my beard, I'm a bit unkempt at the moment.